I don't see anybody. Anybody on this video?
Anyone's there. Sewing together every day. Yeah. Well, we're gonna come together every day here in the sewing room. So welcome to 1/4 inch seam and welcome to my sewing room. I'm so excited that you're here. Hi everybody, welcome to 1/4 inch seam. I'm Angela and you're in my sewing room and I'm so glad you're here and it's day 19. Oh, can you believe it? 19? How exciting. Okay, we had a busy day. So I'm gonna tell you about that. I think we're done with the Easter egg thing. Excuse me. I think we're gonna put the eggs away. We did some cute egg things. I have to get eggs tonight from Minnie. I have to get, shh, don't tell her. It's a surprise. So I'm just gonna get a handful of eggs. And we're gonna talk about eggs tonight, by the way. And my theory on Easter. Okay, so what are we gonna do today? We're gonna start a tote bag. So this one's gonna be a really, really simple tote bag. Really simple. I'm not doing like a gusset or like a flat bottom. I'm just gonna do like something that you could grab when you needed to throw some papers or you're gonna run to the store real quick and you were gonna grab like 4 or 5 things. Not like a tote bag for the beach. I'm not doing, right? I want to do some of those things, but not today. So today and tomorrow we'll do the tote bag. But it's gonna be, again, a simple tote bag. Just a simple one. In this really pretty fat canvas fabric that I got. Before I forget, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Share, yeah. Like if you know other people that want to come and pull up a chair and chat for a few minutes, invite them over. Yeah, come on. Okay. I don't want to throw this box away, not because I really like this particular brand, but because I gotta, not only do I need to work on cleaning up the sewing room tomorrow, which is part of what I'm going to be doing, but I also need to, we gotta do the Elsa thing too. I also need to, things are not totally in the place where I need them right now. Does that make sense? Oh, I'm eating little gummy candies. Terrible. Shh. Don't tell Steve. So good. So good and not so good. They're not great. You know, but hey. What are you gonna do? Okay. Now. Hi, Minnie. There she is. Hi. You gonna lay in your bed? Is Dad outside working on the tractor? What are you gonna do? Lay in your bed? Go on. Go ahead. You can. Or plop down there. Okay, so we're gonna start the tote bag. She's due for a nap. She's looking for a place to relax. And she's probably getting hungry for dinner. Okay, so get some of this stuff out of the way. I'm gonna do the big cuts and probably sew the sides tonight for the tote bag. But that's gonna be about it. We got so much done today in the yard. We had let's not discuss yesterday's project. I will probably use it in the kitchen. I made a mess here with the side because I didn't leave enough open to get my hand in there, and now it's just, I don't know, it's a little wonky in there. Maybe I'll sew that up. Let's turn the machine on. We had a palm tree in the front yard, and it was a pretty palm tree. It wasn't you know, spectacular, but it was pretty, and it was kind of like at this cornerstone. When you pulled into the driveway, it was in this planter and blah 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 blah. Anyway, the palm tree started getting sick. We don't know why. It could have been, well, we think when we put the planter in, the planter then got filled with dirt, and the dirt went kind of above the root ball, kind of above the, you know, where the tree, and then you have the root. It kind of went up the stalk of the tree a little bit. And so by the time we noticed, you know, the problem is that by the time you notice something, you figure out something is wrong, then people are like, oh, get the dirt away. So we pulled all the dirt away, but she was weak, right? A lot of fronds were dying. I wasn't going to bring my phone into my sewing room. I'm trying not to bring my phone in here especially when I do videos. But the pattern is on my phone. Okay, 1 yard of sturdy fabric. We're going to, and we'll put the instructions for this in. It's not a formal pattern. We'll put the instructions in the description, I think. Anyway, we're going to cut 2 rectangles, 16 by 18. Let's see how that looks. If we think that's, I love this fabric. And I'm hoping, which I think there will be, enough left over to do something else with it, because I really liked it. I thought it was just really pretty, kind of these water brushed things. Anyway, so by the time we realized that something was really wrong with the palm tree, we pulled the dirt away, and then we talked to this nursery that was up the road from us, and they said, you know, do this fertilizer and palm food. You know, feed it, fertilize it, water it a lot. You know, oh, I know, I've got it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, thank you.
I'll go back to doing my fertilizing.
So by the time we realized that there was a problem, she was weak. Well, so we started doing all this stuff, the fertilizer and the food and with the water, and we would go out and talk to it like every day. Please don't die. By that time we were heading into winter. Okay, have you ever done this? So I'm cutting this fabric, okay? I'm just gonna show you. I'll just let you see what I'm cutting. So I'm cutting the fabric, and I had just gotten it lined up on the board, and I went like that, and the whole thing moved. So, by this point it was like November, December, and it was starting to get chilly. Well, okay, I'm gonna ask a question. So leave some comments, leave some responses in the comment section. Here's my problem. I know, I have a lot. Here's one of my problems. So I've got this, I'm guessing it's a little over a yard, I think, of fabric. Or right under a yard, I don't remember how much I bought. I bought the end of the bolt. Anyway. I guess some of this stuff I should do on my larger cutting mat, or go do it in the dining room. I want to put another table in. I want to kind of shift stuff around and put another table on that side up against the wall, because then I will have like an actual cutting table size. I'll have enough room, because like I'm trying to cut this and I've got the rest of the fabric here driving me bananas. What do you do for that? Do you just like fold it in? Part of my brain wants to just cut off cut it in half. Cut more than what I know I'm going to need for my cut, so I don't have to deal with the extra bulk. Nuts. Okay. Back to the story. So it was coming up fall, winter when we started, her rehabilitation. When we started that, it started to look like we were gonna, we might be okay. And, we were starting to see some new growth in the center. And, with palm trees, one way to tell if they're dead is that we go to the center of the palm and find the palm stuff that's in the center, the new growth. And if you pull on it, if you pull and it won't come out, it's still alive. If you pull and out they come, it's dead, basically. Well, the palm fronds were still, Steve got his ladder and hussied up there, and we were still doing okay. He said, I can't get them out. And there's still green stuff down in there. So I was like, she'll live. She's going to live. Then we got that cold snap that everybody in the country got. In fact, parts of Florida got snow. Snow in Florida. Well, we had about a week, a solid week, maybe even 2, where it was freezing cold. It was in the, I don't know, at night it was in the 20s. I mean, it was very, very cold. And we had a lot of stuff that, we covered everything, and it was covered for a week straight. I mean, it was so cold all night, all day, cold. And at night it would just get down to freezing, below freezing. Well, those big palm trees, this one was probably about 12 feet tall. You can't cover it. It's, what are you going to cover it with? What are you going to cover it with? So, and we thought that it was doing okay. We didn't really think about covering it because it's huge, and we thought it was coming back. Well, I forgot my dimensions. Do you guys remember the dimensions? No, of course not. Okay, hold on. Let's see. 16 by 15. Or your preferred size for the back. All right, let's see what 16 wide, 16 wide by 15 tall. I think that's good. I'm gonna do it that size. That's big enough for me to 16. That's big enough for me to put a book in and maybe some yarning. I mean, some crocheting. That's what we call it. That's what Steve calls it, yarning. Okay, I'm good with the 16 wide. I'm just wondering if I want to go a little bit shorter. Let's do the 16 by 15, and then we have enough. We'll have enough to do something else. Okay, so 16. Okay, so back to the palm tree. So we think that it was just too cold for too long, and she was weak. And since then, which was I think January, may have been February, but I think it was January. Since then, since that freeze, it's it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And then we thought there was some new growth, but I think it was just whatever was in there dying. And it was really a shame, and we were kind of bummed about it and a little sad because one, it was a beautiful living palm tree, but like it was not on the list of things to do to have to replace and deal with this palm tree because it couldn't be taken out very easily. You know, you couldn't just like cut it down to the bottom and then chop it up and be done because it was in this planter, and the planter, it was quite the process to get this planter built, and we didn't want to bust it up. So if you just like cut it and let it fall over, it would have completely busted up this huge concrete, beautiful planter. So we didn't want that either. So then 16, 15. So, we been, waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's just been like an eyesore. Oh my God. It's just gotten, it's just been, once it's dead, it's not pretty because there's nothing left. Like we had to cut all the fronds off. So there was just this one little like frond sticking straight out of the top that was like, kind of falling because it was dying or dead. And so it was just this palm stalk, just one little thing poking out of it. It was kind of pathetic. So we had gotten quotes and, from people to take it out, and we had thought, okay, well, we'll just, then what are we going to put in there? Is this our opportunity to maybe put something different in there, something with some color, or do blah, 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 blah. So even to just have somebody bring a new palm, their cost to remove the old palm and put the new palm in, by the time we were all done with that, I mean, like that whole thing was starting at like $700, $800. All the way up to, if we put a Sylvester palm, Google Sylvester palms, they're beautiful, stunning palms. $1,500, $3,000, $5,000 for a tree that I wasn't anticipating having to replace at all. I'd have lived the rest of my life with that palm tree in that front yard, sitting right there in that planter. And guess what? I had no intention of spending even $500 or $700, let alone a few thousand. So it's just been like, so it's been this nagging us. And when you're in your house and you look out and it's pretty grass and bushes and, I'm in my office, and my office looks out the backyard, and I have all my little birdies that come and my little bird bath, and it's just wonderful. I don't think much about the palm tree because I can't see it. But then when I go to the grocery store and I'm coming home and I see this eyesore in our front yard, it's no good. No bien. So today, after hemming and hawing, and everybody gives you their advice when you're dealing with something like this. We were like, okay, that's it. It's coming down this weekend. Even if we don't do anything in there to replace it right away, like, it's got to come down. I can't look at this thing anymore. And Steve was just like, we gotta get rid of it. So it's gonna be fun to do one of these with a gusset. Really stinking fun. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. Tonight I'll look up patterns for that. Anyway, back to the point. Do I want to line this? What did I line it with? No, we're just gonna do a simple tote bag. Anyway, So we got the chainsaw because the one that we had, we needed a much longer one, bigger, whatever. I don't know. So we got the chainsaw. I went down to Home Depot this morning while Steve was getting everything ready and rented a chainsaw from Home Depot. And it came down really easily. We just did it like in sections, you know? And I mean, it's hard work. He's exhausted. He's still out in the yard doing stuff, but he's wiped. And like holding, I don't know how he does it. Like I can't hold something like that, heavy like that. I don't know. This is all nothing. There's nothing left. How he holds that huge chainsaw like over, you know, virtually over his head or like at head height with all that vibration and for like hours. I was like, oh geez, I don't know how he does it. I don't know. And here's the other problem. The sawdust and stuff, the bugs. Oh. So many like bugs and roaches and things. Oh, it's gross. Living inside. Oh yeah, it was nasty. So all that stuff. And then the sawdust and stuff, and it was windy today. So that stuff was just everywhere and in your eyes and ugh. So we finally finished with that this evening. And, okay, so you got your 2 pieces, right? We still have to do the whole strap things. So I think that for tonight, I'm just going to sew the 3 sides. And I think I am going to do a zigzag stitch. I'd like to have a serger. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh yeah, that would be nice to have a serger. Don't have a serger. So we're just going to do a zigzag stitch. Two steps elastic zigzag. Zigzag. Overcasting stitch. Let's do that. Okay. Sorry. So then we got it all loaded up and cleaned up and got all the pieces loaded up so we can take those to the dump, but there's still just stuff everywhere like sawdust and stuff, so he's cleaning all that stuff up while I'm here sewing. And so there went our palm tree. But now, like, that area looks so naked. Like, when we came home tonight from dropping the saw off, it literally just looks so naked. It's so naked. It's weird. It's very weird. But at least the palm tree's dealt with. At least we got that dealt with, because I really couldn't stand looking at it. It looked like we just weren't, you know, like we weren't dealing with it. So now I don't know what we're going to put there. We might put I'd like to put another crepe myrtle and then just some green stuff around the base. But I don't know. If we were in one of the trees that we really like. Okay, so I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch. Down with that? Okay. If we were still in California, something that we really love were Japanese maples. The problem is that they really don't grow here in Florida. It's just too hot. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's good. Yeah, that'll do. You'll do. Japanese maple trees. And there used to be this little nursery that we would go to in California, in Loomis. Oh no, I can't remember the name. Oh no. It'll come to me. And we used to go, they had, oh my God, they had the most beautiful and the most amazing and the most Japanese maple trees. And so you could, you know, they had big ones and small ones and in pots and, you know, reasonable ones and expensive ones. And they were just there's so many varieties. If you have never seen them or don't know what I'm talking about, look them up, because they're kind of like a small ornamental tree. You know, they're probably like 4, 5, 6, 7 feet tall, maybe. And then they're the ones that do, a lot of times they grow, you know, they grow kind of like an umbrella shape, not really an umbrella shape, but like a flat umbrella, you know, where they're just beautiful trees. And some of them have these really red colors and yellows, and they're just unbelievable. They're so pretty. But I think Steve found one variety that said that it would grow in Florida, but here's the other problem. They're a little bit pricey. I mean, they're not crazy pricey, but it's not like buying a $25 tree at Home Depot. They're you know, a few $100s, probably a few $1,000s, and I don't want to put it in and then have it die. I think we've had enough death. So I think we're back to potentially another crepe myrtle. We have one in the front yard, and then we have a really pretty little white one in the backyard. And we really like those. And the problem is that, you know, that planter, we'd wander out front, and sometimes, you know, after lunch or when you'd be talking to somebody would come by, and the planter's a great little place to sit, just to sit, you know, for a few minutes. But the palm tree gave it great shade. And now it's a little hot. It's a little warm. Yeah. So we got to do something. We're going to put handles on this tomorrow, but I have to cut the handles and all that. I could do that too. We could make, how cute would that be? Maybe we'll do that. We'll look at it tomorrow. Where's my little, oh, here we go. Give me a wooden one. My wooden flip it over thing. Okay, let's see. You can't hear it, but that's Steve is outside with the blower. Get rid of all this sawdust and stuff. Tell you what, if you ever cut a tree down, what a stinking mess. What a mess. We had a huge, when we first moved in here, we have these huge sycamores in our backyard, and they're not ours. They're not actually on our property line, but they're huge and they're gorgeous, and they provide an incredible amount of shade in the summertime, and the sound is so beautiful. And likewise, they are also, during pollen season, during the fall, and then again in the spring, they are the most annoying things you've ever lived with in your entire life. Ever. Worst pollen. Ooh. Well, one of them, when we first moved in, this really big one that was in the center of our backyard, died. And it was becoming a little bit dangerous because we were heading into hurricane season, and it was really, really, you could just tell. And sycamore trees are pretty, they're strong, huge trees, but the wood is brittle. You could probably go out in the backyard and blow on one of the tree limbs and it'll snap right off. And so they were worried that potentially it was going to come down I think this was Ian. This is like 2-3 years ago. So they came and took it down. Well, it took them all day. They had to call out a tree, a tree feller. Not like a tree fella. Like a feller, somebody who fells trees. That's what they call it, felling trees. They were out there all day. And when it did come down, like even they were the guy was a little bit concerned because have you ever heard a tree come down, like a big tree, like an oak tree or a sycamore tree or something along those lines, where they end up bringing down like 6 or 8 feet of this tree? It shook the whole house. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was like a sonic boom going off in the backyard. It was unbelievable how loud it was. Oh my God. We cleaned it. There was sawdust for days and days and days and probably weeks. Sawdust everywhere from this tree. And I still kind of miss that tree because it was really pretty in the yard. And we didn't have to wait. We didn't have to plant it and wait, and it'd probably been there for 20 years. Okay, this tomorrow is going to be so adorable. So go and get your fabric. I use this canvas fabric that I have fallen in love with, and if she'd have had more on that bolt, I'd have bought more. Which is shocking because you know me, 1 yard at a time. Okay. So that was my day. So then we took a quick dip because it was unbelievably hot here today. It's probably 85. And we were covered in sawdust and dirt. And then took the saw back and came back. Here I am making a tote bag. All in a day. Okay. I love this. I think this is going to be so cute, and I think it's something that I love some of these things because you can just use it. Like you can use it and use it and use it all the time and know that you made it. So if you're super new and you've never done anything like this is going to be really easy. It's a tote bag. This is not rocket science. I am going to see, I want to do another one. So tomorrow I think we're going to do one that's a little bit smaller. Maybe something like this size. I love bags, little tote bags that are this size, big enough to put a book in. And, I don't know, snack, little road trip snacks. And call it a day. But I think tomorrow we're going to do that. So we'll finish that one tomorrow. We'll put some straps on it. And then we'll do another one, maybe something a little bit more advanced. I'll put the beginning part of how to do this one, this really, really simple one, the description. I'll put it in the description. Well, not I. When I say I'll put it in the description, I don't know how to put things in the description. Steve puts things in the description. I'm just the chick behind the sewing machine. That's all. So if there's ever anything in the description, it's because Steve put it there. Okay, that's it. I love you guys. I'm going to go relax for a little bit tonight. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. And only a 1/4 inch seam. I love you guys. Have a great evening. Bye. See you tomorrow.